Empire.
We're talking a little burgundy and gold with one of the all-time greats. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming back for another episode of the Football Jones podcast. I am Mike Jones. You can read me at usatoday.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ByMikeJones. And yes, as I said, we're going to focus on the Redskins this week. As you know, I used to cover that team exclusively for a lot of years. I guess it was 8, 9 years. And even though now I cover the league as a whole for USA Today, I still like to keep tabs on the Redskins, being from that area, the DC area, and still with a lot of connections there. And I know a number of my readers still are Redskins fans. And so I like to check in on them every now and then. And to do so, I've enlisted the services of Brian Mitchell. Longtime Redskin, one of the all-time great kick and punt returners in NFL history. He now hosts a radio show in D.C., if you did not know, every day talking D.C. sports, obviously the Redskins, and so still very close to that franchise. I figured he would be a great guy to get on the podcast to talk burgundy and gold. And he's got some good stories here because one of the most intriguing aspects of this team is the quarterback position, because Dwayne Haskins, entering year 2, is really trying to lock up that job, even though he's got a new head coach, a new offense, but B. Mitch knows him going back to when he was 11, 12 years old. He's going to tell us about that and the growth he's seen as just he's followed this kid's entire career. Middle school, high school, college, and now pro, as it's just getting going. I really feel like the Redskins are one of the most intriguing teams in the league this year. I'm not saying they're one of the best, but, they've had a lot of change. Not just head coach, not just a turnover on their roster, but just the whole organization has had, Daniel Snyder cleaned house from the front office on down. Now Ron Rivera is really working to rebuild this team in his image. And there's going to be some growing pains, but, their defense really are pretty solid. They drafted Chase Young with the number 2 pick to already go with a very formidable defensive front. We've seen changes, comings and goings in their secondary, so there's some questions there. But the biggest question mark is on offense because of that quarterback position, where now entering year 2, Dwayne Haskins is trying to really cement himself as a top NFL quarterback. But it's going to take, like I said, growing pains. And obviously his acclimation process to this offense has been hamstrung by the coronavirus and the restrictions, because these guys are still not able to be out on the field. They're not able to be at their facilities. They're having to do everything online with their virtual classrooms. And then Haskins, if you don't follow him on social media, he does a lot of work. He's posted a lot of videos of his workouts, and he's working hard. And so I wanted to talk to B. Mitch about what he's seeing there and what he thinks the prospects for this franchise are. So without any delay, when I come back, we're going to be talking with Brian Mitchell of Team 980 in D.C., former Redskins great. All right, now, as promised, I'm very honored to have my good buddy Brian Mitchell, former Washington Redskins great, and now the host of the Brian Mitchell Show on Team 980. B. Mitch, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Mike. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Happy Memorial Day to you.
Same to you, man. Just hope everybody out there understand why we celebrate this day. Make sure we show love, honor, and respect for those that lost their lives, men and women, and also their families, because they lost a lot.
Exactly. Thank you for doing that to lead us into this thing here. And I know, if you guys don't know, B. Mitch is a master chef. And I know you were probably grilling up something today. What were you working on today?
Well, I had to do some stuff quick because I was supposed to go play golf later with my buddies, and my wife said, well, you need to cook before you leave. So I did some salmon. I had one big slab of salmon and then another piece she had bought the other day. And I like to buy these pork chops that's cut like the steaks with that bone in the middle.
Right.
because that bone seems to make things taste a little juicier. So I did 10 of those, and then I did these beef like they call them like more of a sirloin. But it's like a round little deal. We always get those. I did that, and then what else did I do? I did a couple of more things. Oh, some chicken and stuff as well. So I made sure I cooked to the family so I can go have a little fun.
Wow. That was a feast, man. Now
Oh yeah, I did these. TGI Fridays does these burgers where they put bacon and cheddar cheese in it, and I did 2 packs of those as well.
Wow. So what time are they eating? I know you're gonna be playing golf, but can I roll on over there and get a plate?
Hey, go ahead and get something because I'll tell you, I cook enough today so they can eat the next 3 to 4 days. That's how I do it. So we've been doing it ever since the quarantine started. We would cook on the weekend, and we'll make sure we have enough to where we can eat like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we'll do something else again, probably Wednesday night or Thursday morning, and then we'll eat the rest of the week that way. So it's been like trying to make it easier for everybody.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I've been doing, I'm almost bi-weekly with the Girl Conquests. I just discovered this really amazing jerk chicken recipe that I've been doing. I've done it now 3 times since the quarantine started. And it's just, but I'm not to your level. And so I keep on aspiring.
Well, I'm trying. I just, I tell people I'm a good cook because chefs don't like people using that word chef. So I'm a good cook. My dad was a chef.
Okay.
And my daughter, and then to be honest with you, everybody in my family cooks.
Well, one of these days, I've heard of these legendary, feasts that you cook up, when you go down to, Louisiana or whatever. One of these days, I'm going to try to get an invite to that trip so I can, experience all this.
Well, I already told you I'm going to cook you something good because you always come on to my show and you always been gracious with us. So we're going to make sure we take care of you.
Hey, that sounds like a great trade. And now the roles are reversed. We're in a different seat. So now you're on my podcast. It feels a little weird, but I really wanted to, get some insight from you. It's a weird off season, but the bulk of questions, even still now that I cover the whole league, the bulk of questions I get are from Redskins fans and on Twitter, on email and everything. And so, who better than B. Mitch to come in here. And I wondered, as you've observed this off season, we've seen, at least if you're following social media, you follow Dwayne Haskins' growth, and there's a lot of questions over the running back position and everything like that. The defense looks like that's, they're getting the ducks lined up. But I wonder what you think and how you feel about this Redskins team for what you've seen so far this offseason.
When I look at the offense, I think they have everybody in position to be able to do something if they can solidify the offensive line. From what I look at Dwayne Haskins, I'm not like a lot of people. I believe in him because I saw the guy ever since he was like 12 years old, maybe 11 or 12 when he first came to my football camp. Wow. And then as he began to grow, you can see how this kid, things that I said to him, the things that I heard people say to him, the things he's been told, he takes it and he implements it into whatever he does. And I think he's gotten better and better. Look at him this offseason. They say the quarantine is going to put 15 on everybody. He seems to have trimmed up. He's very serious about what he's doing. And they've been working out and doing stuff with teammates. And this is what I love about it, Mike. And I think in the media we may hate it. We didn't know what they were doing, but they were doing it. You see what I'm saying? And I think the whole thing about this generation, well, they always want to just show and brag about it. Right. But they were out there doing stuff without telling you anything.
Right.
And I like that, because it shows me a little bit that they're serious about the game of football. Terry McLaurin has shown me a maturity out this world. But now when you look at Dwayne, the guy who's going to be the leader of that little crew, he's showing me something. Then you begin to go down the line. When you look at that receiving core with Kelvin Harmon and then, Gandy Golden and Gibson, and already have McLaurin. They have a lot of young talent that could be outstanding for years to come. Then you look in the running back room. They have tons and tons of talent in there. You got Adrian Peterson leading it. Darius, guys, we see what he's capable of. Darius just has to stay healthy because when he's healthy, he's as dynamic as anybody in the NFL. So if you get that going and get an offensive line, and the tight end position. I'm looking at the tight end position to say maybe, just maybe, they have so much at running back and receiver to where you don't need that super tight end just yet. But eventually you'll get that guy to move forward. And then when I flip it over to the defense, I think that defense is going to be outstanding. I understand, and I really appreciate what Jonathan Allen said was the fact that, on paper we look good, but we got to go out and do it. They have a bunch of first-rounders, a bunch of talent, but can they get out there together and make this happen and everybody play up to their ability? That is the question, and I believe that Ron Rivera is the type of guy who can be the jockey to make sure he get the best out of every one of those guys.
Gotcha. I didn't realize, I know Dwayne Haskins being in from this area, but I didn't realize that he had been to your football camp. What do you remember about him from back then and then watching his progression through high school and everything?
Well, when I remember from the football camp, I can remember him coming in saying he was a quarterback, but looking at him, I thought he was going to be like an offensive lineman or something. And he said, "No, coach, I'm a quarterback." He proved it. He was throwing the ball unlike anybody really at the camp. And he was not nothing but like 11 or 12 years old. So he's always been groomed to be that, and that's what he wanted to be. And the thing I love about that is just like when I was young, my dad asked me, what do you want to do? I said, I want to play in the NFL. He said, are you willing to do the work to play in the NFL? I said, what you mean by that? He said, when other people are going to be resting, are you going to be working? My dad was a military guy, so he always challenged you. And he found out, he told me in the 12th grade, he said, you are dedicated enough to make it if that's what you really want to do. And so when I see Dwayne from what he said earlier, and then watching his growth, and then seeing him in high school and watching him go to college, and when he gets his chance, how good. See, people say, well, he only had 1 year. Well, hell, Joe Burrow basically had 1 year. But both of them had spectacular years. And you have to respect that, because what it tells me is in 1 year, look what he did. What if he had multiple years to play? How damn good would he have been then? And I think if we needed to have, and then for every coach, every player, just like any kid, the kid that has the talent that wants to go and become something, they need somebody in their corner to support them. And now he has somebody in his corner, in Scott Turner, also in Ron Rivera. And I think before with Jay, he didn't have that person in his corner. That's kind of hard to grow with.
And I think with what we're seeing during this offseason, there was all kinds of whispers last year about his work ethic, his professionalism. What we're seeing, are we seeing a motivated Haskins, or is this just the Haskins that he's always been? He's just now he's feeling it. He's feeling more confident and assertive to be able to display that.
This is the thing I see. Ever since he was drafted, okay, you never saw any true support for him, especially coming from the coaching staff, the head coach.
Right.
The head coach who happens to be a former quarterback, who happens to be the offensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? Then you keep hearing all these things that kept coming out. So the question I ask is, who was telling people that?
Right.
Who's still presenting it? Because based on, like, when I would talk to people, I hear people tell me, like, he's young, but he works and he listens. That's the two things you want people to be when they're young: a listener and also a person who's willing to work. So I wonder, because the fact, and let's be honest, it's not like Jay wanted them to draft him.
Right.
So did him and his crew begin to put the stuff out there to make the kid look bad? But right now, like I told people, I said, I wash my eyes and my hands and everything, my mind clear of what the hell happened last year, because it was despicable from the beginning. So I'm going to move forward. And now what I see, I like that kid. Okay? I like that kid. I like the coaching. And the thing I like even more is that he has a coach now who doesn't give a damn about the craziness. He cares about how hard are you working to try to make this team better and make yourself better.
B-Mitch, this offseason is very challenging for young guys because they're not having the on-field work and everything like that. But when you guys played, you guys didn't have the OTAs and everything like that. So what was the key to being ready, to preparing, to growing throughout the offseason, and then being ready once training camp happened, which is what guys this year are going to have to do?
Well, it's just like going from high school to college. Okay, when you're in high school, your mama probably waking you up every day, driving you to school and everything like that. Okay, you basically have someone holding your hand throughout the way. But when you get to college, you don't have that. And if you show up late, coach ain't gonna tell you, "Oh, no problem. You were just a little late." You know, they're gonna punish you. They're gonna make you understand that it's about time you start growing. Now, he's in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Everyone is in the NFL, and the mindset now is this is your job. This is no longer a hobby. It's not something that's getting you through college because you have a scholarship. It is your livelihood. And if you're not 100% dedicated to it, you're gonna be in trouble. So every one of these guys right now have an opportunity to show the coach, I'm 100% in. I believe in my craft. I'm doing whatever it takes to make sure I get all the stuff I need because, you know, only thing that they don't have right now that we had is they're not with the coach to go out on the field and do stuff with them in OTAs and things like that. So what do? After you finish your virtual thing, are you just sitting in your house? Or do you go outside and at least run through it? Do you get some of the people together, which we've seen them doing that? Didn't have the chance to show a coach what he was about physically, is going to show a coach that I was dedicated mentally. And he'll move a lot faster because he knows what to do instead of thinking about, well, what would this play? What do I have to do? No, if you're thinking, you're late and you're done.
Now, you know, this offense, you have some familiarity with this offense. Obviously, you know, Scott Turner was a kid when he was here in D.C., but he's inherited the offense from his dad. How do you think that this offense will suit a young quarterback?
Well, I think it'll suit him very well because the thing about this offense, it's in the West Coast offense, the quarterback is tasked with learning everything for everyone, okay? And basically when you call a play in the West Coast offense, you're basically telling every person what to do. That is why you hear that they have 16 to 20 word plays and it takes so long. And they talk about the terminology and this, that, and the other. It's not necessarily the terminology. It's the fact that if one person misses one word, they don't know what the hell the play is because all of them sound the same. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, in Norv Turner's offense, Jack right tight, 478 Y cross sneak. Okay, 478. The X knows he running the 4, the Y running the 7, the Z is running the 8, and then the Y cross sneak. So you know that the fullback or the tight end that's playing in tight, they're going to run the cross, and then the tailback will run the little sneak. But Jack right tight, Robert, I'm telling the offensive line, is Robert protection. So it's a lot easier. It's more simplified. Look, exact same plays, okay? Right. Exact same plays, but in Norm's offense, like Jack right tight, Robert, 478 Y cross sneak. The same play in Jay's offense might be 15, 16 words. So, and in this offense, every player is required to understand what they have to do. The quarterback, this is the NFL. This is not Little League. I shouldn't have to tell everybody every little thing. Hell, this show, just like it's Dwayne's job, it's everybody else's job too. And what I think about it, if Scott is anything like his dad, he understands, and you can watch it. And that's what Norv was good at. Norv might have a play, and he'll be running other stuff, setting up that play for 2 or 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden, when they run it that 4th week, nobody knew what he was building as far as, you know, you're looking at the other teams, but they probably put this stuff in training camp, put it in early. It's going to be a lot easier to get it out, which means they'll get to the line of scrimmage a lot quicker, and they'll also be able to think about what's going on and just move forward. They won't have to sit up there and have to worry about exactly every little word that was said, but keep them in the huddle and then they get to the line so late where they're rushed and pushed to try to hurry get the place down.
So Haskins, you know, not worried about the defense. Haskins, I feel encouraged about. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was the running back position because, yes, there's Adrian Peterson, Darius Geis. We think he's got talent. Durability is an issue, though. I still would roll with Adrian Peterson as my starter. I would not, like, hand the ball off right to Geis without having him earn it yet. And so Adrian Peterson, it's just a marvel for me that he's, you know, now 34 years old, you know, and had a effective year last year. And I know you know something about that because you were 34, 35, still ripping off, you know, averaging, you know, 27 yards a kick return, you know, some of your best numbers after the age of 32, 33, 34. What was the key for you, and what do you see in Adrian's preparation, why he's able to still be so effective at that age at a position where there's a lot of physical toll?
Adrian, I hear him talking a lot. And the thing about him is that he takes care of his body. He doesn't, waste time. He makes sure he's healthy. And he has a mindset similar to what I felt. I felt that the off season was the time to torture myself. The off season was the time to put in the extra work and the extra hard work. And when Sunday and football season came, I maintained, but I had fun. And I think that's the thing where a lot of guys don't get. The off season of football is the most vital season of your whole football career. So many guys after the season is over, they travel, they vacation, they want to party, they want to let people know that they play in the NFL. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
For me, I had the mindset. I remember, and I'll tell you a story. I went to Jamaica one time, and this guy was trying to sell me some marijuana. And I said, dude, I don't smoke. I say, when I retire, maybe I'll come out here and then I'll have one with you. Right. So my mindset was, I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt me for my career. And the whole time I'm playing, I'm going to be out there doing everything that's going to help me out. So when I lift weights, and Dan Riley, who used to be the strength coach of the Redskins, my coaches in college, they'll tell you, I didn't lift with the running backs and lift with the quarterbacks. I lift with the offensive linemen and defensive linemen and linebackers. Wow. Because I wanted to put myself through so much stress that when I stepped on the football field, I felt I was invincible. I felt I can do anything. And I think when you look at Adrian, he is that same type of guy. Not only does he lift, he runs a lot, and he also stretches. And a lot of young dudes, they don't stretch. They lift weights, run. They never stretch. And I think a lot of injuries happen to these younger guys because when they're in college, they're sometimes just that much better than everybody else. When you get to the NFL, everybody is good, and you have to have that elasticity in your joints, in your ligaments, in your muscles to be able to do things that's going to be, because you're going to be hit and twisted ways you've never been twisted. And you got to be, like I always say, the best ability is availability. And I know a lot of these young dudes, they hear that, and they kind of turn their nose up at me. But if you're not there, eventually people stop depending on you.
So would that be your advice for Darius Geis?
Yes. Work hard as you possibly can. Put your body through everything. It's not just about – see, and this is what I've noticed, Mike. A lot of the trainers today, they do a lot of body weight stuff. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of all these bands. All that stuff should be in addition to what else you're doing. I still tell guys, free weights is the best workout because not only does it build strength, it makes your body have to stabilize, which means that now every muscle is locking in. The joints and ligaments are getting stronger, instead of getting on a machine. If you're on a machine, the machine stabilizes everything. When you're doing free weights, your body has to stabilize, which means it strengthens everything that one move may take to do. So you do all that stuff. And this is what I didn't do the same things all the time. What I would do, like, let's say Monday, I may go out there and I'm going to lift weights, then I'm going to go run. Wednesday, I'm going to run, then I'm going to lift weights because I'm trying to put my body in different positions because you never know. Suppose you get into a game and in the first drive, they want to give it to you 10 times. How about the next game you come along, your 10 carry don't come until the third quarter. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you put your body in different situations to make yourself be prepared and ready for anything that comes out there. And listen, I know a lot of young guys in this day and age, they think they know it all. They don't want to hear stuff from the older player. If I'm a player on that football team right now, I don't care what position I'm in. I am asking Mr. Peterson to put me on his put me on his schedule so I can sit down and talk to him about what has kept him in the league so long. Why has he been successful for so long? Because that's the thing that gets you. Ernest Byner was that guy for me. Watching Henry Ellett, how he did things, was that guy for me. Watching Darryl Green. Darryl Green told me when I was young, he said, as you get older, you got to run a little bit more. Because I was the strength guy.
Okay.
And then as I got older, I began to run more, try to do some things. I didn't run with Darryl a lot because Darryl run too much. He's unbelievable. But I learned different things that enhanced my career and kept me around.
So what is your feeling for this team? And I know it's still super early, but you kind of have the feeling that it's going to take a while to get this thing turned around for Ron Rivera. But I don't know. That's just me. What do you see when you look at this team, and how do you feel like Redskins fans should view this season, given all the change and the hurdles of this pandemic that this team is going to have to deal with?
Well, I think the fans have to give them an opportunity to get everything implemented before they can start expecting. But I still feel this. I feel this team has always had a certain level of talent, but I don't feel that they ever reached 75% of what that talent was. And the reason I say that is because I don't think no one was held accountable. I don't think that adjustments was plentiful, whether it was coaches or players. Because if you're not holding me accountable, then I don't have to make adjustments to try to live up to the standards you're giving me. Now we have a guy come in, and Ron is a nice guy, to be honest with you, if you're doing what the hell you're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're not going to keep being on the football field. One thing that Doc always says, we sitting up here and we getting pissed off, and they rolling the same people out every week as if they're doing a great job.
Right.
So how can I be pissed off when the coaches that's supposed to be judging them keep putting them on the field? So Ron's not going to keep putting you on the field. You will be held accountable. And you could be a undrafted free agent. You can be a 7th-round draft pick, 6th-round draft pick. If you can play and you're the better player, you're going to play. And I think when you have that mindset, everybody on the team is always working to get on the field. In the previous regime, everybody did not feel that same way because they knew no matter what, Josh Norman going to keep getting put out on the football field because he's making the most money. I have no issue with Trey Quinn, but why in the hell Trey Quinn was given a job in offseason?
Right.
He hadn't proven nothing to nobody. So when you hear that as another player, you're like, well, damn, they already gave him the start. Why should I keep pushing? Well, now everybody feels like, oh, Lord, we being tested. So, I mean, everybody works a little harder. And if just look at the roster, look at the talent level. If all these guys reach 90% of what they're capable of, this team could shock some people this year.
Gotcha.
And that's what I'm expecting because now the jockey is not going to just hold the reins. He's going to use that little whip every once in a while to make sure he get things happening.
Wow. That's a great analogy there. That's I like that. All right, B. Mitch. Well, I'm not going to hold you up anymore. I will let you get to the golf course. I hope you enjoy that. And, save me a little plate later on tonight, because now I'm hungry.
Hey, man. One thing about the Mitchell household, we always have food.
All right. Tell everybody where they can find you, B. Mitch.
All right. You can find me on WTEM. That's basically Urban One, Radio 1 Radio from 12 to 3 every day with Scott Lynn on AM 980 and FM 95.9 in the DC metropolitan area. And then you can find me once we get back to normal on NBC Sports Washington. I'll be there Mondays, Thursdays, and also on the weekends. And then Instagram is BMitch30 and Twitter BMitch Live NBCS. So I'm always on it, having a lot of fun, working out and riding the bike.
Hardest working man in showbiz, ladies and gentlemen. And he still looks like he could still play. I'll be watching your workouts videos, and I'm like, man, B. Mitch looks like he's ready to get back out there.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to tell you, it takes a lot more than looks.
Oh, man. All right, B. Mitch. Well, thanks so much, man. You have a great day.
All right, bro. Take care, man.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I don't know about you guys, but I am extremely hungry now after talking about that food with Brian Mitchell there. And I'm telling you, everybody who's ever had his cooking just raves about it. And so, like I said, I'm trying to finagle my way into one of those cookouts or getaway gatherings that he does, so that way I can really experience it for myself. But also, hearing his assessment of the Redskins, maybe I feel a little bit more optimistic. Again, this is a very important offseason as they're trying to lay that foundation. If they can get a full training camp in, I think Dwayne Haskins is going to be that starter. If they have an abbreviated training camp with little preparation, then I think Kyle Allen will probably start, and eventually the reins will be handed over to Haskins, just so he has more time. But we will see. A lot of expectations, a lot of pressure for a young guy, but I like his demeanor. He seems like he's ready for the challenge. We see him working really hard, and we'll see how he delivers. Hope you guys have a great day. Again, hope you had a great Memorial Day, and hope you're staying safe, staying healthy. Check me out, usatoday.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram @ByMikeJones. If you're enjoying the podcast, go online to iTunes, leave me a review and a rating, and also share the podcast with a friend. I will talk to you guys next week.